What's up, everybody, and welcome to my NXT BattleGround review live from Las Vegas at the UFC Apex Center. Big show, a lot of stuff being built towards tonight. Some matches I'm looking forward to, some I'm not. But hey, let's get right into it right now. One thing I do want to say about the whole UFC Apex ring, I don't know how many people they really kind of fit in here. I know they're doing a pay-per-view from this show tonight, but honestly, it kind of just looks like the Performance Center where they do NXT every week when you really think about it. I don't know why they just didn't do a bigger building. I think this is more of a TKO UFC move because obviously throughout the entire night we saw a lot of UFC fighters on this show and the crowd watching on. And this is more of a TKO move if you ask me. So it looked good, but this venue they were at, it looked like any type of NXT show you would see on a regular Tuesday night. Like I said, they fit the building pretty well. There was a lot of people, but even when I looked at it from the drone shots they were doing for multiple weeks now, I'm like, okay, it's really not that big of a building. It only looks like it could fit like what 1,000 people in there, I think. So I get what they're doing. It's more of a TKO thing, but I think they could have just went to a bigger building, which they easily probably could have sold out in general. So that's just my take on it. So it looked good, but it literally just looked like a small venue. It just looked like any type of NXT show they would do at the Performance Center. They just could have did it from there. So that's my take on it. Even with this ladder match that was about to happen, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of a small building to be doing this ladder match at. But we do go into this ladder match to crown the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, Mia Yim, Fallon Henley, Lash Legend, and Kalani Jordan. Um, it was a good match. I definitely enjoyed it. I guess the biggest spots I can kind of really name out of this was what all the women picking up. What they all picked up Lash Legend and threw her on the outside onto the ladder, which got a holy shit chant. Um, One other thing to count out from here was Sol Ruka, especially doing that damn soul snatching move she did, which looked cool off the ladder and off like just what was like off the ladder and off the what was it, just the turnbuckle itself. Like she hit one on Henley and then like hit one on I think Jada Parker also. So it was pretty. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Um, what and then them throwing outside the ring. Then it ended up with Kalani Jordan hit like a split legged moonsault, just like RVD onto Mia Yim, and then climbed the ladder real quick and just got the. She ended up getting the title. So yeah, she is the new NXT North American Women's Champion. Like I said, I'm just kind of naming the most important stuff out of this match. My pick going into this was going to be Sol Ruka to win, which everybody just loves that finisher. But given I thought she won last Tuesday on NXT, I didn't think she was going to win then. I was going to go with Fallon Henley next, given that I thought they were probably going to put it on a heel right now, just for the time being, and see where that was going to go. But I guess not. Also, Lash Legendary kind of got her wrapped up with the whole Trick Williams stuff. Jada Parker, I wouldn't have mind. Um, who else was in this match? Mia Yim, which I already knew who wasn't going to win anyways. But yeah, I kind of like I said, my money was on Sol Ruka, but ended up with Kalani Jordan win. So it wasn't who I expected to win, but I'm not mad at the decision also. So we'll see what happens from there. But good for her though. We'll see what goes on with this North American title. So there you go. Right after that was the Good Brothers versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the tag team titles. Listen, this was a good match. I did not care about this match going in. I kind of would have expected Gallows and Anderson to win here just because, since they're running around with AJ Styles again right now on SmackDown. But I thought they would have just won just because, I don't mind Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I know most everybody's going to say it's just a bunch of flippy guys and stuff, but I can't really say I care about them as a tag team like that, especially that promo Frazier cut like a few weeks ago. I thought it was kind of hilarious when he said that Gallows and Anderson, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I'm like, greatest tag team of all time? And what conversation did you hear that? But I thought Gallows and Anderson did really good here. I thought both teams did really good. I didn't care much going into this match that I think Gallows and Anderson were going to win. Yes, but they did not end up winning, and it ended up with Frazier hitting that Phoenix Splash onto Carl Anderson for the win. So yeah, Frazier and Axiom still retain the NXT tag team titles, but like I said, I thought it was good. Some say the Good Brothers really had their working boots on tonight, so they actually look good here than any other time I really ever see them on SmackDown or NXT or anywhere. Because I don't know, I'm just every time I see Gallows and Anderson at this point, it's like which Bullet Club former leader are they walking around with right now? If it ain't AJ, it's Finn. If it ain't Finn, it's Jay White. If it ain't Jay White, it's Kenny Omega. So I feel like no matter what other company they go to, they end up following somebody in the Bullet Club as a former leader. So that's what they usually do. But this was a good tag team match. So good stuff. Like I said, I know they showed more UFC fighters throughout the show. It ended up with Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice in an NXT Underground match. I know some people are gonna kind of feel about these work shoot type of matches, and especially given they just had an underground match like literally a few weeks ago on NXT. I kind of wonder how this was gonna go with Lola Vice being involved. Like I didn't mind it, but there was just points and times where you look at this and you see real UFC fights, you kind of tell which stuff would be over. So you're trying to mix wrestling involved with that, even on the on the what the announce table and them doing stuff, them doing like rear naked chokes, which even I thought like, okay, she's got Lola Vice choked out here, so you think she's gonna win, but no. And what even Baszler pulling down a knee pad and everything, and then next she started beating up like all the developmental people out there, suplexing them, and I guess Lola Vice, and I thought it was kind of weak at first. She ended up tripping. I guess she like tripped Shayna Baszler into the steel steps and got her back in the ring, did a back fist, and just started doing multiple strikes and won the whole match. I guess it was like technical knockout is the people checking on Baszler then. So it was a good match. Like I said, this is like this. I've seen a few of these underground matches already. There are times where it can get kind of ridiculous. I think the one with Natalia was kind of ridiculous because someone gonna wonder is like Lola Vice, who's an actual MMA fighter, can't beat Natalia and going to the limit and still had the what Natalia won by like a distraction finish, but this was actually clean with her versus Baszler, which I'm not really surprised Baszler lost right here. But given that they kind of sent Baszler back to NXT, it's kind of crazy because let's remember Baszler was like one of the most dominant things in NXT, and then she got to the main roster, and yeah, it hasn't been like that. Even you think beating Ronda Rousey would have done something too, but it didn't even do nothing for Baszler, even currently right now, because in a way they kind of had her in two feuds when you really think about it. This one on NXT and whatever her and Stark are doing going after the women's tag titles. But like my friend Steven would say, this was better than Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. That's a big fact. I can say that. So this one's at least a little bit more exciting here. Like I said, Baszler's still on the main roster, so I guess she's gonna be going for those tag titles next. But um, yeah, I can understand why she had to put over Lola right now. They like Lola, which they're pushing high. So, come on, you knew she was gonna put over Lola Vice right here. So I'm not really surprised of who the winner was, but yeah, it's kind of crazy thing where Baszler is right now. Sexy Red congratulated Kalani Jordan in the back. We didn't really get a lot of Sexy Red on this show, by the way. She is hosting this show, so we only saw like maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the night because she did open the show and immediately started twerking, and then um she had Kalani Jordan in the back. We actually thought was gonna get some twerking there, which was unfortunate. It would have been good to see Kalani Jordan twerk, but hey, beggars can be choosers, I guess. That's what the people wanted to see. But yeah, she and Sexy Red ended up congratulating her and then plugging her tour that's going on right now. I know they ended up promoting Heat Wave, which is gonna happen in Toronto during Money in the Bank weekend. Um, Right after that, we had Obafemi, Wesley, and Joe Coffey for the NXT North American title. Wesley with the Dragon Ball Z gear, which actually looked pretty cool, by the way. I did like that. Um, One thing I can say about this is just Obafemi just throwing people. It's insane. The way this man is just catching and throwing people left and right like rag dolls is just insane. This actually woke the crowd up. I can say this. This woke the freaking crowd up. The people went insane for this. Just how Obafemi, like one thing I did like was what when Wesley like on the turnbuckle and he just threw Wesley into Joe Coffey was insane. I'm surprised it took Gallus that long to come out there and help, which they did end up coming out and jumping both guys and everything, but um well Wesley's hitting moonsaults on him and holding him back and stuff, so you knew they did get involved in the match, which like I said, I thought I would have seen them sooner. Um because what even back in the ring, what Wesley had Joe Coffey with the big cardiac kick thing, but Gallus ended up pulling out to the ringside then, taking him down. I know you have hit like a big dive onto them on the outside. Um, what Obafemi ended up hitting what he caught Joe Coffey and basically picked him up and hit him with a big power bomb for the win. So this was crazy. It was I'm not gonna say it was all over the place, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I like this. This was really good, and obviously they just make Obafemi look like a freaking monster right now. Shawn Michaels just really likes this guy, I believe. Like the way they have made him look very dominant and just throwing people like rag dolls is just crazy. So no surprise of him retaining the North American title, and Wesley wasn't pinned, so I guess it's gonna give him a chance to go back for the title maybe at the next pay per view. So we'll see what happens there. Um, Next was the NXT Women's Title on the line. TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace versus Roxy. I really, like I said, I've already talked about going into this match, which I knew this was gonna be a good match. It was gonna take me a minute to kind of believe in Roxy to even try to take on Jordan Grace, because Jordan Grace, like I said, just looks like she can just ragdoll this woman literally all over the place, which literally what happened in this match. But they did make Roxy try to look, come back more aggressive at Jordan Grace, I guess using her speed and trying to use cheap heel tactics and everything. And there were TNA and NXT chants, even We Believe chants. So shout out to Joe Hendry there, um, and whatnot. So going into this, I did wonder who was really going to win this match. I didn't really think Jordan Grace was even going to win anyways. I thought it was going to be some screwy finish, which really did happen. It was a screwy finish, but like I said, there was just times where Jordan Grace was just freaking killing fucking Roxy out there, which was insane. But it did end up with Tatum Paxley coming out, jumping the barricade, looking at the NXT Women's Title, and then she tried to take the TNA Knockouts title, but then Dana Brooke, which they almost said, which I guess they didn't have any other knockouts around, so they called an Ash by Elegance, which obviously that's Dana Brooke's new name right now in TNA, and I guess her and Jordan Grace are going to be having a match at some point, which it looks like they're building towards. I don't know, man. I look at the Knockouts division right now in TNA. I've already discussed this in a different review, but given how they've made Grace just look dominant and literally go through the entire roster, is that now she has to go to other companies just to actually find challengers right now. I know what TNA's trying to do and trying to, I'm not saying reboot some of the women in the Knockouts division, or at least have something new to freshen up their gimmick and everything. We already kind of saw that with some of the video packages recently, one with Rosemary and Giselle Shaw being back. But right now, they need to book credible challengers against Jordan Grace. I still did, and one would even argue they should have pulled the trigger with Masha Slamovich a long time ago. Because come on, what is she doing other than tagging with Alicia Edwards, going for those knockouts tag titles, which there aren't even really any teams around. So why do they really have her in that position? Or like, damn, who else really could they build up right now in the knockouts division? Like, it's a few people uh they could, but it's like I said, you've had Jordan Grace literally go through everybody. It's kind of like who's really around right now. And Dana Brooke, like I said, it's another former WWE person, so it's not like people don't really uh know who she is. But with that distraction and everything, Jordan Grace got back in the range, hit what Roxy with a big Death Valley Driver. She was gonna go for another one, but Roxy ended up getting, like, it was like she did the Death Valley Driver, but then kind of it was like an RKO like move, and then she ended up hitting like the Pop Rocks for the win. So they made it as much as they could for Roxy to still retain her title. So, like I said, I enjoyed this match. I thought this was really good, other than the finish to it, but I knew they were going to protect Jordan Grace in some type of way by, damn near overbooking a little bit of this. So I still think with Jordan Grace having an open challenge right now for the Knockouts title, expect Tatum Paxley to actually show up at Against All Odds and go against Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts title. But look at this match right here with Roxy still retaining the title. I can't say I'm too surprised by that. I think it would have been crazy if Jordan Grace was a double champion right now and brought that title back to TNA television. But no, I knew they were gonna find a way to have Roxy still hold the title. So yeah, she still retains the title. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens next with that. Sexy Red was in the back talking about her album and tour. Lola Vice showed up and wanted to say hello. Next thing you know, they start twerking, which come on, we see Lola Vice twerk down there every week on NXT and shake ass. They tried to get the I don't even know who the announcer or the interviewer was. I think what was it, Sarah Street, but she had no ass, so it's not much to really kind of shake from there. But in the main event, we did go with Trick Williams and Ethan Page. I will give NXT one thing: they've made Ethan Page more important here than what AEW has done in his entire time over there. Def Rebel still makes horrible music. This was a good match. Some say it was even better than the ones that he had with Mello. It was a solid match. Okay, I figured Trick was gonna have to retain in general. One thing I think that I'm sure anybody will point out, and my friend pointed this out too. Like, come on, Trick and Ethan Page are on the outside of the ring for like several minutes, right? And even have a table spot, and the referee is literally just getting a three at one point. Which, come on now, like it took you that long to count. And you get the yay boo thing with both guys back and forth. Um, Ethan Page hitting the border toss for a big knee fall, then big near fall and all that. He ended up going back at Trick trying to go for another one, but Trick ended up you know, hitting Ethan Page with the big trick shot knee for the win. Sexy Red came in and celebrated with Trick Williams then as Trick Williams still retained the title. It would have been crazy if Ethan Page just literally won the title right here, but I still think there are going to be plans for him for NXT coming up. It is kind of crazy that he immediately got a title shot coming into this company, but I'm like, nah, I doubt they were going to take the belt off Trick, given he literally just won it like, what, a month ago at this point. So you know he's going to be holding that title for a minute. But overall, I thought it was a good show. I did like this battleground show. Obviously, they crowned a new women's North American uh champion. Like I said, I thought Grace and Roxy was good. The main event was good. Um, like I said, the ladder. I like it's not really a lot I didn't like about this show. It was a really good show. It's not much to say bad about it. The match I just didn't really care about coming into mostly was maybe Gallows and Anderson going against Frazier and Axiom, but that was a good match too. So it was an overall enjoyable show. I just didn't really like the venue that much of it. Like I said, I still think it looked like the performance center with NXT, which they probably could have done the show over there or picked a bigger building. But like I said before, this is more of a TKO, UFC, because we had to do the whole UFC WWE crossover thing right now currently with TKO. So that's where it was really going for me. But overall, it was a good show. Like I said, it was a good show. It wasn't really it wasn't bad. But yeah, maybe it'll be Trick and Ethan in another match. I'm not sure, but still, Trick Williams right now. I don't know who his next opponent is gonna be for NXT. Like, yeah, what other opponents does he have right now that are gonna go for him? I don't know. Maybe Gallus since they did attack him, so I'm not really sure. But Ethan Page ended up telling Gallus to do that, so I'm not really sure what's gonna happen next. With Trick Williams with the NXT title. But overall, just a good show. So yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Hood Night 890. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and yeah, see y'all later. Peace out.